Lila, do you want to get up here? Oh, where's my coffee? You guys are going to have to sit here and wait here for a second because, quite frankly, I got to get coffee. I can't survive without something on my palate. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm sorry. I'm coming late to you guys today. I'm coming late because I am a hot mess express. Hot mess express today. Actually, I was up at the crack of dawn. This is how we do it here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. We double do it, right? I got my, ow! I'm gonna have my watch. Sorry, I didn't mean to scream. But Delilah, my beautiful Delilah. Good morning, guys. This is going to be one hot mess express of alive. Why is that? Well, it's because I had other obligations this morning. We're in our county. You guys know I'm ultra political. I'm not going to sit here and force feed my will upon my audience because we're all here for true crime and other things. But, I put my money where my mouth is. I do advocate for the causes that I truly believe in. And I like people to advocate for the causes that they truly believe in. And so these were our legislative priorities in our county going on today. And legislative priorities means they're going to the state, right? They're going to the state and they're going to be asking the state for what? Money, right? Money. We want money, right? So when it comes to our county and it comes to these legislative priorities and it comes to us going and having our hand out to our feds in our state, we want to make sure that we get as much federal funding as humanly possible to our community. And so I love taking part in what makes my county better and flourish. There are some wedge issues that I'm associated with, and now my audience doesn't necessarily have the full appetite for one of my want items. And my want item is not necessarily the history, it's more of the principle of it. And a lot of people try to twist it around. So, my audience may not or may agree with me, but I am pushing for my statute to be put back up in this county. And it's not that it is anything other than the fact that it's our history. Whether we like it, good, bad, or indifferent, it's us. It's our history. And so I want the statute re-erected, but when they removed it, the company that removed it broke it. So I'm trying to find out where it's at, if it's been repaired. It's been in storage for, 4, 5, 6 years now. And again, it's the principle of it, because you guys know how tough I am. I'm with the whole backing the blue. I'm with the whole, law and order. And we had people literally funneled in here on buses, people that weren't even from our community, wreaking havoc here, threatening our police, threatening our county commissioners. I'm sorry, that's just not how we get things removed. We do it properly. We don't do it by intimidation or by force. And so that's kind of my principal portion of it. So people are going to take it and run with it and probably call me all names, and I really don't care. I am who I am. I do what I do because it's the right thing to do. Not that it's the easy decision to do. It's not something, it's like almost wearing a scarlet letter on your arm, so to speak, in some of these communities to do it. And it is what it is, but I own what I own. I stand on what I stand. And at the end of the day, I'm law and order. And how our statutes were removed it was lawless. And if they want to remove the statute, then it needs to be erected and it needs to be brought down properly. It needs to be brought down by the will of the people, right? Not crazed maniacs that are funneled in here on buses. That's just my 2 cents on it. If the community as a whole wants it brought down, once it's erected, they can make the moves to have it taken down the right way. And that's really my point that I'm trying to make. I'm not indifferent to the statutes, other than they're our history, and you can't destroy history and think it erases it. Our country was a lot different many, many years ago. I'm so thankful that we've all grown, right? That we as a nation have grown different ways. And the other one is taking back our county from developers. And I will be honest with you, I do like my county commissioners. I would never want to upset them in any way, shape, or form. But at the end of the day, I have a job to do, and the job is my community, not my commissioners. And I made a commissioner cry today, and I didn't mean to. And I did call her out for being bought and paid for by a developer. And it is what it is. She wanted to talk to me about it, and I understand that these things are tough, but their decision was poor, and to slow walk the fix, it just doesn't bode. So, anyways, just to let you guys know, I do put my money where my mouth is. I don't just tell you guys to go out and get into your communities and get involved in your politics and whatever side of the aisle you're on. I'm not telling you got to be this way to go out and advocate for yourself or your positions. I'm just telling you to do it, right? Whatever those positions are. So I just want you guys to know that I also do the stuff that I tell you guys I think is good for you guys to do as well. So it's not one of those things that I do as I say, not as I do type of thing. I try to lead by example as much as possible. It's nice to see everybody here. I see our beautiful mod squad is here. Our beautiful Sonia. Sonia, I don't even know where to begin with you, dear. I don't even know where to begin with you. I just want to tell you that I love you very much. I'm so sorry for everything that you've had to experience the last few weeks. I know you've been taking care of your sister for, or helping as much as you can for quite some time. And I just want to tell you that this whole entire community, our channel, has given you so much love. And I hope that if you have an opportunity to go back, because I know that while we can't take away what you're feeling, and I know that it's probably really hard to smile and everything like that. I hope one day when things, whenever you go through your processes, you go back and show and get to see just how much love was in the chat for you, how much of the coffee club really prayed and just put their hands on you for comfort, right? For peace and comfort. And I hope maybe if you can't smile today, maybe, tomorrow, tomorrow being whenever tomorrow comes, right? Tomorrow when things get a little settled for you, hopefully you can see how much love that everybody here has for you. So I'm really sorry. I wish I could give you a big old fat hug and let me be a punching bag. So if you needed it, right? So just thank you for everything you do for this channel, and just God bless you. Just God bless you. I don't really have a whole lot going on right now. We're going to be kind of getting ourselves up to snuff together, because I've been, as many of you know, with my whole entire dissertation for the last 8 minutes, it was explaining why I did not come live, okay? This week's going to be much of the same. We're going to be taking kind of checky lives just this week, so you guys are going to have to bear with me. It is what I do every now and again. Every year we go through these little sticky areas where my county involvement kind of collides with my online involvement and in these cases. So just to let you know, I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. And that I've just got a lot of stuff on my plate this time of year. That's all there is to it. Now, I know there's a lot of information going on about the ruling of the court. We did have a ruling of the court. And I know that the hate channels love to spin it and like to try to say, "Oh, look, let's just rewind a little bit, okay? Let's rewind a little bit, shall we? I think we need to." So when I decided to sue Queen Bee for the ferocious actions and infiltration of my personal life and trying to destroy me behind the scenes in my real life, with the help of the eliciting of other content creators as well as her channel. Now, granted, a lot of these, the stuff and claims are going to be brought up in the federal suit, so I'm not really too concerned about, this suit. A lot of people don't understand, if you do not raise the arguments, you can't ever raise them. So they all have to be put on the complaint. We were told when we started this that this was a frivolous suit and that we would be gone, that her attorney would shut this down in 30 days. That's what we were all told. Not only was it not shut down, now granted, I'm doing pro se. I haven't done legal paperwork in literally over a decade at this point. So I had some modifications. Well, the judge, we were also told this entire time this was a frivolous suit. And people, by frivolous, it means that there's no merit to my claims. So the judge actually ordered that there are merit to my claims. So not only did they not get rid of me in 30 days, they also told their audience that I had no case and that the judge was going to toss it out on its ass. Toss the case out on its ass, right? Well, we fought very hard for the last year to keep our lawsuit in place, and we finally got a ruling from the judge that we have a lawsuit. That thing that they said we didn't have, right? So I know they're trying to make a victory lap for themselves, but quite frankly, I think it's our victory lap. Because we've been told for over a year and a half that when a judge hears this, he's tossing it out on his ass. He's not going to hear it. We don't have a case here. This is a frivolous lawsuit. Now, much argument has gone into these cases and much arguments have gone into these complaints. And there is a viable path forward. And the judge finally ruled on it. Now, he didn't give me another bite at the apple as far as and I finally got my arguments right, but, you know, a day late and a dollar short, it happens. Like I said, a lot of the stuff is probably going to be picked up in the federal suit anyways, so I'm not really too worried about it. But at the end of the day, we're in a lawsuit now. We have a lawsuit going forward where she is going to have to answer for her wrongdoing. And that's really what it was all about to begin with. You guys knew that for me. I already think that even if we lost this case, we've already won. So I feel very confident in my position with all of this. I'm very, very, very confident in my position. And by the way, she hired a second attorney because her first attorney couldn't quite take me. So now it's going to be in a, and I just think that's funny, right? Because she's on one hand trying to say to everybody that I have no case, that this is a frivolous suit. The judge is going to laugh this lawsuit out of court. And now she's hired a new attorney and a second attorney. And guess what? This lawsuit still hasn't been laughed out of court. So I think that at the end of the day, we're the winners. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So that's all the comments that I have to say on my active litigation with that atrocious fat cow of a bitch, Queen Bee. Now we're going to move on from the fat cow of a bitch, Queen Bee, and we're going to get onto a topic that really does matter, such as a human being, not a freaking monster. And that human being is Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is a 15-year-old boy that never got to celebrate his 16-year-old birthday with his family because he's been missing since February 26th from inside his locked home with allegedly only his mother. Oh, how could I forget this? Oh my gosh. I'm all over the place, like I said. Before we get into Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, I do want to thank Melissa. I'm not going to say your full name, but I wanted to make sure you knew. I thought this was just darling, okay? We have a subscriber here. She gave me 2 of these. One's a little bigger than the other one. She was very, very smart because Delilah, of course, is in the smaller one. But Delilah will grow into this one. 2 matching ones. Isn't this so cute? Look at this. Look at that. Instead of the North Face, the dog face. OMG. Oh, Sweet Misery. It's nice to see you. You guys got to go up and sub up to Sweet Misery's channel. She's been riding with me for the last, I don't know, year and a half now. She's done great. Look at these little gifts. I love these almost more, okay? Because these look like they were handmade, right? I love handmade stuff. I love handmade stuff. Look at that. Aw. Look at this one. It's going to go on my tree next year. Look at that. And you can tell it's handmade. Oh, I love handmade stuff. I do. I love handmade stuff. And I had to wash your shirt, Sonia, because I was not going to my county commissioner without my cow shirt on. I felt the need that I felt like it was the need to. And if you want to see the littler one, oh, stop running away from me. There it is. There's her dog face. Look at her. She's just a little poopy. She's just a little poopy. She yelled at me when I came back from the meeting. Actually, Glenn was out in the car 'cause I didn't drive. Glenn came and picked me up. And so she's never seen her before. So I took her out there to see him. And so I thought I was good. You know, the real Me Too and Gypsy know what I'm talking about when it comes to this dog and leaving her. Because they got to see her bitch me out. Actually, she turned on them and started yelling at them for taking me out. But so I thought, oh, she's good. She didn't yell at me. As soon as I came in here and was away from Glenn and put her feet on the ground, she turned right around and went, I'm like, well, I thought you were okay with it. I mean, you just went out to Glenn and you were sweet. She was sweet like this. But as soon as her feet hit there, well, I'm so sorry. I said, you're really going to hate me this week because you're going to have to be by yourself tomorrow too. I'm just joking. No, I'm not. So Melissa, thank you for the sweet thoughts, the homemade gifts, and these beautiful. She was able to wear it today because it was quite a cold day here in Florida, and she really likes it, and it fits her so good. Look at her; she's such a cute little girl. She's such a cute little girl. Yeah, I'm a cute little girl. I'm the crime fighter. I'm the crime fighter, Delilah. I'm going to be famous one day as a crime-fighting dog. She is a sniffer, though. I mean, this dog is a sniffer. I don't even think she's going to need to be trained to be a scent dog. I'm just joking. I'm not trying to downgrade scent dogs. But, I mean, I tell you what, you take her outside, even these. I before she would warm up to it, I stuck it up to her nose so she'd go. All right. So we're back on Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. I don't know, where was I going with this? I think we left at, he was home with his mom, he's home alone with his mom, which, hold on a second. There we go. Let me see if we have any updates. I see that there's something new from Dog the Bounty Hunter, but I haven't had this. And the reason why I'm kind of rushing this live, it's not that you guys are not important to me. You guys know how important you guys are to me. The reason why I'm kind of rushing this live is because I have limits. Like I've got to be back at a, meeting. So my meeting's not quite over. We're just having a lunch break. So I'm kind of shoveling a whole bunch of crap down your throats for a lunch break. Hi guys, it's nice to see you. Our beautiful Sonia is up in the house. I see Seth Rogers saying, "Hey, Miss Betty." Well, hey, Mr. Seth, how you doing? How you doing? It's nice to see you. I will send you a hand-painted pic. Oh, that'd be lovely. I love homemade stuff. I really do. I love homemade stuff. So, hey, Seth, I'm constantly praying for you and Sebastian. Oh, we all are, all the time. And we have room to pray for all of the people that are struggling in silence in our chat as well. VA's up in the house. Our beautiful Betty fan. Crystal Pistol, it's nice to see you. Tina Girl. Michelle, it's nice to see you as well. Peace, love, and Melinda. Trying to train that dog to work for you. I know, good luck. Oh, I know. But you know, she has come leaps and bounds. You guys remember when we had Delilah? She wouldn't even walk on a leash. She walks on a leash like there's no tomorrow. She, like, even on this has a little hook on the back of it. Like, if she really wanted to fight me, she could pull this whole thing off with the, and take off. She doesn't take off. She just loves being around and loves going out around and hanging out with Emily and Mr. Glenn and me. Beth, it's nice to see you. The real Me Too. Our beautiful Andrea's up in the house. Harley, it's nice to see you. If you guys all sent me, any type of emails this morning or last night, I have not gotten to them yet. Lady 7 up, Rivers up in the house. Gypsy, I was just talking about you. I was talking about how Delilah likes to complain. She yelled at me. Actually, I thought I was getting away with it because as soon as I walked in, she was at the door and I just scooped her up and took her out to show Glenn. You know, he's never met Delilah before, so I wanted him to meet Delilah. And so she was nice, sweet, you know, like a precious little puppy that she is. And as soon as I brought her here and sat her down, you know, I'm like, you know, I didn't get yelled at on this one. As soon as her feet hit the ground on the inside, oh, one of my lights just went out. On the inside of the house, she turned around and just bit into my butt. She lit me up. It's nice to see you, Lisa B. Always. It's me, Laura D. Real. It's nice to see you, Peggy. Our beautiful, sweet miseries up in the house. Rebecca, hey, is Tony in the house? It's nice to see you, Tony. I think I remember seeing him coming earlier before I started yapping. Kay, Sharon, it's nice to see you. Miss Tiffany, nice to see you, my love. Andrea, Kay, Kelly, Candy, it's nice to see you all up in the house. So I don't see any updates from At Night Intelligence Agency. I saw Hong come here, you know, on the 5th, but we haven't really had a whole lot. But I did send an email out and realized that one of the members of their team are out. They're out. So they're working very, very hard on something or having a vacation or something. It's nice to see you back, girl. So I'm actually going to throw this to you guys. I'm reading the chat. Is there any new news that has come up that I am acutely unaware of? It's ridiculous. I don't know what YouTube programmers are doing all day. I guess sitting on there instead of fixing the bugs on the platform. It's annoying. We always go through as they start updating their system, and it usually, well, and I think it does happen closer to the end of the year and the beginning of the year because they're working all year and they probably have the roundtable discussions, you know, as the end of the year approaches. What are we going to do to improve the systems for the beginning of the year? And they all start talking about it and start implementing it. So it seems like we always have a few bugs. I know I was on Brittany J's just the other days. I was on Brittany J's just the other day and I couldn't write in the chat. I had to literally go out and go back in and I could write and then it started getting sticky or something again. It started being really weird when every time I kept trying to type. I didn't know if it was my phone, but it seemed like it was only happening on YouTube. So I ended up in the middle of the live with Brittany while I was watching her. I just powered my phone down and booted it back up. And whatever it did, it fixed the issue. I didn't have any more typing issues in the YouTube platform. Now, another thing I didn't realize is sometimes YouTube sends out the updates and you don't even realize the updates have hit your account. It happens in the middle of the night. And sometimes your phone will forget to update or load that update and it's sitting there waiting to be updated, right? So that could also be it. If you still have problems after powering your phone down, after updating your YouTube app, the best next course, the recourse would be to delete the app from your phone and reinstall it. I've had to do that only one time, but it just would not work otherwise. It would not load the new the new update in it, and it was just all kinds of messed up. So those are a few things that you guys can do if you're getting a little gunky. I know that this wasn't working right for me just the other night, and I know it wasn't my phone. It was definitely the app. So I, just thought I would give you guys some best practices. Most of you guys don't realize you guys can do these things. But always check your updates. Make sure there's not some type of update sitting there for YouTube in your phone that hasn't been updated. But last case scenario, the worst case scenario is that you delete the app, you reinstall the app, and you sign back into your account. No big deal. And it did fix the problem. Both times it's fixed the problem. Okay, so let me go up here and start reading some of your comments. It's nice to see you all here. I'm sorry, like I said, this is kind of like a not very pointed live. I don't really have a lot to show you because I haven't been here. I haven't been able to prepare for this live. So we're just going to kind of update ourselves together. Yes, Chris admitted to being home the night of the 25th. 5th. Justin got a clip and played it last night. I did listen to part of his live. I did listen to that where he said we would have heard or we would have known. Yeah, I did hear that. I don't believe Chris was there earlier that day. I believe that I for whatever reason in my gut, it tells me he was the 3 o'clock car. I don't know if he was driving it. I don't know. I just believe he was associated with that 3 a.m. car. Do I have anything to really support that? No, because everything that's supporting that is really just my intuition based upon what we have as factual information now. I mean, we know that it takes over 3 hours to get there. If you time the timing from the time they hung up the phone together to the time those lights showed up, it's almost the exact time to drive from Memphis to Hendersonville. If you were to time it, it is almost the exact time, which, depending on how fast you're driving, it's in the range. If that makes sense. It's in the range. Someone told me that someone called in your live and said something she thought she saw him in Pennsylvania. I missed out on that one. Yes, there was somebody that called in that believed that they saw him. I will tell you this. I have seen, and I'm just being honest, and I'm going to ask you guys to take this challenge. Because after I realized how much Sebastian resembles, I don't want to say looks like, because he does, when you look at him, you can tell that they're different people. But certain angles and stuff like that, he resembles a lot of teenagers. His haircut resembles a lot of teenagers' haircuts. His glasses resemble a lot of teenagers that are wearing glasses. His bone structure. For a good primary example of that is the North Carolina sighting. That kid there was almost a spitting image of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. However, he was a little shorter. He had different style glasses on. His nose was slightly different, and his chin was slightly different on this boy. But other than those details, this kid, I'm telling you, if you put them next to, they would almost be twins. Almost. They would almost be twins. And so after that came about, I didn't really do anything with it. And then, a couple other sightings came around, and then people started passing around photos of different, things they found online, of possibilities of people and what have you. And we realized that he is similar to a lot of people. He resembles a lot of people, but there are a lot of differences when you stand the photos side by side. So I started looking around the community here, and do you know, when I look around, there are several different boys in my own community that resemble certain features of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. So I anticipate if people look hard enough, they should be able to find several people that resemble Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers in their own community, like myself, which makes situations like this harder, right? There's not too many people. We all have our doppelgangers, and I think that is. I remember as a child being at a resort, and I remember this kid, and he had an accent. He was from a different country, but I'm telling you, he was a spitting image of a friend that I went to school with named Paul. And so I remember seeing him, and I'm like, Paul, why are you here? And then this weird accent comes out, and I'm like, oh, you're not Paul. And I remember telling him, and this is when I was a kid, I'm like, you look like a kid I go to school with, like a spitting image of the kid. Right? Like the same teeth, everything. Never in my life. But that was the case. So I expect us, when we're searching for Sebastian, even in our own community, that there are going to be people that are similar in nature or resemble Sebastian, because I put it to the test around here. And I got to tell you, like even today, I saw somebody walking down the road that could resemble Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Right? And And so you need to be ultra vigilant. So many things that I would say to help us is the height. Like the person walking down the road today resembled him, much taller than Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, much taller. But I have to think that even the physical physique, like the slenderness, I believe that that was all about the same. It was just the height. The height was different on this kid. The kid was like 5'9". Obviously, Sebastian Rogers is 5'5". So I knew that this person here was much taller. I don't anticipate seeing Sebastian Rogers here in Florida, but we don't know where he is, so he could be. So I'm still looking, right? But there are people that make my head turn, and then I realize it's not Sebastian. If you think you see him, I don't know what the best situation is. If you think you see him, I'm always going to side on the side of caution. I mean, it's part of our outro, right? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I mean, that's what that means, right? And if you see something, do you call it in or do you wait? I'm an ounce of prevention type of chick, right? Call it in. Call it in. It's not for you to decide whether that's Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers or not. It's for law enforcement to decide whether it's Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. But, it's hard because I know how familiar and how similar features of him are obvious on other children around his age. But he's been missing for some time. Do you call the cops? Do you call, TBI? What do you do in a situation where you're walking down the road and you think you see Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers? I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what the right answer is, because a piece of me thinks that if we advocate for anybody that sees somebody like Sebastian to call into law enforcement is going to be blowing up, right? But the downside, the double-edged sword side, right? If you don't call it in, they'll never know, right? It's not for us to make those determinations. It truly is law enforcement. We are looking for a missing child. And if that child you think you see, I'm just still going to tell you, pick up the phone and call law enforcement. Don't call your friends. I mean, I would take a picture if you can. So if they leave before law enforcement gets there, I would try to get as much information. Stay ultra visual with them. If you see them get in a car, try to take the make, the model, if you can remember the license plate. These are all the things, these are all the best practices I would say. I would never tell anybody to walk up to them and ask them, is this Sebastian, or something like that. But there are things that you could do, okay? There are things you could do to get a better view or focal point of the person you think is Sebastian. One of my go-tos is my phone's dead, my watch is broken, do you have a time, right? And you got to walk up to somebody, hey, my phone's dead and I'm on a time. Do you have the time by chance? Gives you an opportunity to really get a little bit closer to those people and look at the child to see if it resembles it. Very low key, something that happen all the time. Many people aren't going to scoff at. The other trick that I have up my sleeve is directions. Okay. Most of the time when I'm out in the field, I'm usually not from the place that I'm at, right? So for me, it's ultra easy for me to appear lost and not know where I'm, not be like lost, crazy, mental, but, just lost and not know where I am. And that's a great way to open your phone, get a map, get ultra close to people and say, I'm right here. My map's telling me to go over here, but when I go over here, it's not where I'm supposed to go. Do you know where all of this is? I'm so sorry. I don't mean to bother you with my problem, but I'm not from here. Can you come over here and help me? Can you just show me on the map where I'm at and where this particular thing is, right? And so I keep it simple. You don't want to say some weird store name that's not there. You want to keep it to Chili's, Apples, names that are in every single county, city, and country across, in community across this country. So those are kind of my go-tos when I really need to get close to somebody, or I need to get my eyes on them and find out if it's truly that person. If I need to make contact with them and look to see if they have say, for older people that I cover, do they have the tattoo I'm looking for, or do they have a cover tattoo in that area? There are times that I need to get a little closer to observe somebody's body, face, or other markings on them. And so those are kind of my go-tos when I'm out in the field and I need to get closer to my subject. And it's usually always, low grade stuff, something that anybody's willing to help you for. Anybody? Oh, Cynthia, thank you for that. I am not going to Tennessee. My Tennessee hearing has been canceled. It's just being pushed out for a little while until we get the appeals all sorted out. There's a conflict with the appeals. They want me there on the 26th. Apparently, my attorney has a conflict. And so he's going to be going before the appellate court or the circuit court to, get a good date for that. So those trials will be coming up here in the near future. But for right now, we're kind of all at a standstill, which is what I had presumed from a little while ago. So hopefully we get a good victory there. I feel like we got a victory in Illinois. And so we're just going to keep going. So we got a victory in Illinois. Hopefully we'll get a victory in Tennessee. And then if we get a victory in PA, it'll be a trifecta for us, so it'll be nice. I don't expect it. That's in a perfect world, of course, and we don't live in a perfect world, but I do expect something. So I appreciate it. Thank you for the love and support. I appreciate it. Thank you. We see how fast runaways can be found, even parental abduction. They can be found, but not Sebastian. That is a good point, Eve, because we're dealing with a situation that we're dealing with the Summer Wells case. Children that are abducted and are missing can be found, right? They can be found. And a lot of that has to use with our phones. Our phones and our automobiles help identify where we're going. I mean, we got our tag readers and other things out there that we, the public, pay for safety measures. It's a violation of privacy. Some of us are willing participants in the violation of privacy. I'm on the other side of privacy. Even though I do true crime, I take privacy as our right? So I'm not really with all the cameras. I'm not really with the readers. I feel like it's a intrusion and a violation of people's privacy. However, the government trumps Bullhorn Betty's, thoughts on it. So we have these things, and these things have been utilized and helpful in solving crime. They always try to guilt you. Like, if you have nothing to hide, why would you care for these things? It's because, it doesn't really matter whether I'm committing crimes or not. I have a duty to privacy, and my government, is really, really, in my opinion, over the last 20 years, has really reached in and stripped us of our privacy. Stripped all of us of our privacy. And that was the one thing that American people could stand on, is that we had not only the greatest nation in the country with, rules of law, but we had our right to privacy, our freedoms to speech, our freedoms, from oppression of our government. We just had a lot of different things, and little by slow, they have eroded those rights away. And we as the public allow them to scare us, right? We don't know what happened in that trade center. We only know what our government told us. Let's be honest, right? And that story changed several times. It's like they didn't know who had done it. But then they decided to go bomb bin Laden and say it's him. And then we find out it could be the president of Saudi Arabia that was behind it. And it's like, you know what? I'm so sick of the government telling me all this stuff to make me hate somebody else. I'm over it. But after 9/11, that's when we, the American people, we allowed our government to scare us, because if we don't do it, if we don't give up our freedoms and our rights of privacy, this will happen again. And it could be you. It could be your precious little baby. All the mommies and poppies in the country's like, nope, I'm not doing anything illegal. You put whatever you need up, wherever you need it. We just gave it all away. And our government was wrong the entire step of the way. Who put those planes in our Twin Towers? Nobody can tell me, right? I mean, they say what they want to say for factual basis, but where's the evidence? We've never seen one scintilla of federal government intelligence showing us who's responsible. We just blindly went with our government. And hell, I hate to throw this out there. Some people may be thinking I need a tin hat. But after what I watched happen to, whether you like Trump or not, he almost got assassinated 3 different times while he was waiting to take this seat for president. I'm sorry, I feel like that was government sponsored, our government sponsored hitman. So how do we know it wasn't our government that took those World Trade Centers down so they could surveil the American people at their will? How do we know? Our government is just like that. And if you don't think it's that dirty and sleazy, you got a rude awakening. Why do you think I do all I do in my politics? Because I know exactly how sleazy and slimy politics are. Like, I have a pen that says drain the swamp. It's not just a coined term from Trump. Like, I truly want to drain the ever-loving swamp because it's disgusting. And what they're willing to do to get your vote is even more disgusting. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. So when approaching somebody that you believe is Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, you're either going to want to do it afar or you're going to want to do it up close and personal, right? You're going to want to do it afar or you're going to want to do it up close and personal. So afar would be taking your camera out. All of us have great cameras. There is no need for any of us to be coming with some grainy shots. If you're that so far away that you can't get nothing but a grainy shot, either get closer or just call law enforcement and tell them what you know, right? But if you're ready to call and you're not sure if it's him and you need to get a little closer, I just gave you some game changers that you and get practice in front of a mirror. You know, look at your phone and be like, my phone, stupid. You just let them hear it, because we talk. When things frustrated, it comes out of our mouths. Can't believe my stupid phone is dead. Ma'am, do you know what time it is? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Hi. How are you? I'm so sorry about this. My phone's dead. I'm having a really, really tough day. Can you please tell me what time it is? I'm just having one of them days. Oh, thank you so much. You got a handsome son here. I just wanted to let you know that. Thank you for your kindness and generosity, right? Like, I mean, I got this. Oh, I got this. Don't worry. I've had papers. I do a paper one too. I'm not going to give you all my tricks up my sleeve, but I can make somebody stop and help me real quick. I got ways. Call out his name, Sebastian, if he turns. No, you never. I would never do that. I would never do that, because if that did happen, then that's putting that person on notice. And that's the one thing that we do not want to do if somebody does have them, is put them on notice that the world's looking for them. So I would never call his name out. That's just something I wouldn't do. Some people would for whatever reason, but I would want to keep it more low key than that, because I'm the one that's lost, not this kid, right? That's what I want to impress upon these people. Even when I'm looking for maps, I want them to look at me like I'm a dumb idiot, right? Like, this lady's all twisted up, right? I want them laughing at me about how all twisted up I am on those things, right? On the maps. So I want to keep it where they're looking at me as being the dumb idiot, right? Not looking at me as me trying to surveil somebody. So those are just, like I said, those are just some key. Those are the easiest ones I can tell my audience that I feel safe enough telling my audience. I do a little kamikaze stuff, so I'm not going to tell you all the stuff I do, but we get the information. So if you do see Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers out there, there is a big push to find and locate him. We're not getting a whole lot of help by the other crew that that has a sniffing problem. I think it's just allergies. It's just the time of year, but they seem so bogged down with those allergies. I think it's affecting their ability to search. I'm just saying. I still don't understand why she pled the fifth if she's not guilty. Well, here's how it goes, okay? This is what makes me feel like something changed behind the scenes, if it's true. Now, remember, I'm just going to say that's allegedly. I didn't personally hear it, and I can't personally source it, okay? So I can't come here and tell you guys that it's 100% true because of those factors. I didn't hear it, and I can't source it. I trust at-night intelligence, private intelligence, but I don't know where they get their information. And sometimes their information could be skewed depending on who they get it from, just like me, right? It's just the nature of the beast. It's the work we do. So I never want to say that they're saying anything inappropriate or anything. I just can't source it, and I didn't hear it. That's all. But if she did, if this is all true, then that is a very critical piece of information, because you've got to play the tape through, and most people don't realize how these cases go. What would inspire somebody after 10 months to now invoke the right to remain silent? That kind of tells me that law enforcement must have came in, because most of the time they're talking, they're not reading them their Miranda rights. They're just having normal conversations about the case, right? So for her to invoke her right to remain silent, in my mind, tells me somebody read her rights. Do you understand that? For me, in my brain, in order for an individual to invoke their right to remain silent, that means they had to have been read their rights. If you are a witness to a crime, law enforcement very rarely ever reads you your rights to ask you questions. Okay? This is how my mind's processing it. Now, I'm not saying that that's what happened, but I'm thinking 10 months. Why now? That means somebody would have had to read her those rights for her to invoke her right to remain silent. Does that make sense? So if she was read her rights 10 months later, something's going on behind the scenes. You know? Something's going on behind the scenes. That's how my brain works for me. Because if she was going to invoke her right to remain silent, and she was read her rights early on, she would have invoked her rights to remain silent, in my opinion, much earlier than she did. But if this is happening now, and she's now getting an attorney, this is telling me, this is why I keep telling you, I didn't walk you guys through this just yet. I wanted to get some footing on the information. But this is telling me something is going on behind the scenes. That's why I kept saying all these behaviors. Remember, we look at behaviors and actions. Behaviors and actions. That's pretty much predominantly what guides us on this channel, is behaviors and actions. Yes, we listen to people's words, but we know that there's their side, the other person's side, and of course the truth, right? There's always the cardinal rule, 3 sides to every story. So one thing that we pay attention to, so we don't have to pay so much attention to the words, is the behaviors and actions. And I find if you follow the behaviors and actions as a first placement, and then the language and words and their story as a secondary nature, I think you get more out of the context of what's going on and what people are really doing, right? That's just me. Behaviors and actions, behaviors and actions, behaviors and actions. So when I'm looking at this behavior and action from what we believe may have happened with Katie, because it came out on an at night private intelligence post, that she may have invoked her right to remain silent. And that's when it clicked for me, because everybody's like, I wish they would just split them apart and put them in the interrogation room separately. I don't know if they've done that. I'd have to believe, based on policies and procedures of law enforcement across this country, they would have done that already. But I also know people are called back many times. Look at Leilani Simon. We watched her trial here. We were out there out front, right? We kicked up our feet and stayed a while, right? Under the Constitution, a protest, which again, assembly, peaceful assembly of the people, which we're lawfully allowed to do, and that should not be interfered by any law enforcement or any government official. Which, in all fairness, for the most part, it wasn't. So we were out there, and we know that, well, we know the situation of that, and then we know the trial, and in the trial, Leilani, you know, they had spoken to her multiple times. We could see how many times they brought her in the room. She had different clothing on. She had her hairstyle different. You could tell they were different days that they brought her in the room to question her. So it sounds to me like if they recently, or at least the mom, recently invoked her right to remain silent, recently, then that tells me something heated up with questioning. Because if they're just leaving her alone and not talking to her, or just giving her updates, she would have no need to invoke her right to remain silent. So in order for, again, goes back to if she invoked her right to remain silent, then they probably had to read her rights to invoke her right to remain silent. And that is critical information. If you're on the phone, hit 3 dots. Yes, 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 yes. If you're on your phone, guys, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. I wish I could stay here with you guys a little bit longer. I will be back later this afternoon for a live. Maybe I'm going to kind of do it like this. We'll do it produced live. It's going to take me a little longer to set up, but it's going to just be kind of like this. I don't have time to research or dive into anything today, or I mean, I guess I could pull a top. We have a running topic of conversation for this case. So maybe we'll just go off of an old topic that we haven't ran on this show yet. That's just been in the incubator this entire time. That'll help us move this case along. Oh, fan lady! Oh, I love it. I haven't seen you forever, and look at you, 26-month supporter. Oh, I love it, Van Lady. It's so nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I didn't get a chance to say Merry Christmas or Happy New Year to you. And for the rest of you guys that I didn't get a chance to say Merry Christmas or Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. Now, I see that the Lore Lodge is coming under heavy fire from these hate channels. Welcome to the club, Lore Lodge. Now you get to finally feel what we have to go through just to make sense to the world, because these thugs, and let me just tell you, Aiden, if I got your name right, these are thugs. Make no mistake. These are criminals. These are felons. These are people that don't mind going and tearing your whole entire world up, showing up at your house, or even showing up at an event to try to punch you in your face. That's the kind of people that are now coming after you. I would say protect yourself. I saw that nice little open carry you got there on your side. You're doing it the right way there, sir. You're doing it the right way. Furthermore, I just want to tell people out there, if you don't like somebody's commentary, maybe just not watch. But you coming here and thinking that you're going to change my way of thinking because you don't like it, let me tell you, anybody that does that to anyone, and that goes for my audience included, and I'm not trying to be offensive or disrespectful, but at the end of the day, your opinion means nil to anybody else, okay? And again, not to be offensive, just like my opinion means nil to you, right? At the end of the day, you got to live your life. You got to think the way you think. If you don't think the way I think, what does my opinion about it matter? It doesn't. But you don't deserve to be hunted down like a rabid animal because of an opinion. But this just goes to show you that nasty-ass camp that Chris and Katie Proudfoot has assembled is an assassination, a personal, professional, reputation assassination team. They are not a search team finding their son. They're out here to harass, intimidate, and ruin people's reputations for accusing them of doing something. And I'm going to point my finger right at those parents and say, I truly believe that they have done something to their child. I'm praying to God it's not as deep as what I believe it is. But now that we have Mommy Dearest up there saying, I invoke my right to remain silent, that is not a mama bear. That is a piece of freaking shit. And I'm going to stand behind it. God bless America. Thank you for my freedoms of speech. Thank you, America, for making sure I have freedom of press and the power to move and to know, just like I said in my commentary today at my own county meeting, if your check comes from our government, I turned around to the audience and said, you work for all of these people. None of these people. All of these people. Because at the end of the day, it is we the people. We are the bosses of our county commissioners. We are the bosses of our bureaucrats. We are the bosses. And everywhere I go, I make sure I restore power to we the people. And I have no qualms what side of the aisle you're on. Because at the end of the day, it belongs to all of us. If you believe differently than me, then you stand in line just like I did, and you go up there and you say what you believe in, and you affect change for the causes that matter to you the most. We stand behind these cases. We stand behind the people. We work very hard to empower people. When I came out before I got into true crime, my only job was to empower women. That's all I cared about, is empowering women to get up there, because I feel like that is what's missing from the country. We have too many rotten, stinky old men that don't understand what women, not that my men politicians are bad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you guys are rotten and stinky. That's all. You guys got stinky feet. We need more pretty women out there standing up and doing the right thing. I'm sorry. I'm just, I am a sexist. I will tell you that. I'm slightly a sexist, and I'm okay with that. I'll wear it. I own it. Right? But I think women should be more involved in our country. So I empower them to. And I really don't care what side of the aisle. I don't care if they, I'm anti, just to break it down to you, just to let you know where I'm at. I'm anti-abortion, okay? But I still encourage the person that's pro-abortion to stand up and speak. You see what I'm saying? If that makes sense? We all have our opinions, and I want to encourage everybody to stand up, speak up, and get involved in their government, because we've sat back too long thinking our government rules us. We finally have where we're moving ahead as we the people to restore the power back to us. And that's the only thing I give a rat's ass about, because I want to drain this slimy, sleazy swamp, and I want us out of every single freaking war that doesn't pertain to us. Just saying. Just saying. All right, guys, enough of my soapbox. You're probably going to hear a little bit of the soapboxy, because it's what I'm doing this week. So, sorry, it is what it is. Be vigilant for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He's still missing. We still need to bring this boy home. He needs to come home to his father. We need to know what happened, and we need to hold the people responsible for doing this. Whether he's sitting in the care of somebody else or something more nefarious, the people that did this, that took him away from his father, need to be held accountable, and we're going to do just that. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. God bless.